All right, what is going on, everyone? Today I'm back with a first place OTS hero deck profile. I went 4-0 at my locals last weekend, and I'm excited to bring you guys the profile. I haven't uploaded in a while, obviously, and we're going to get into it right now. Let me go over the matchups quickly. The first round I had a bye, and then I beat Fluunderies, and then I beat my brother, actually, who was playing Sprite. He's a very good Sprite player, has a YouTube channel. Then I beat Fluunderies again against someone who got top 8 at a recent regional, so that was quite a tough matchup. Quick shout out to my field center, Derek White, go Celtics. So we're just going to hop right into it. Start with the monsters, and now we are on 43 cards, which is the first time I've gone over 40 in Hero in so long because, as you all know, Malicious is finally back at 3, and this reduces the chance of seeing 2 of them in your opening hand, and this deck does have quite a few cards that you just never want to see in your opening hand, and 43 instead of 40 reduces the chance of that, while still giving you enough of a window to see your 3-ofs at a rate that you're satisfied with. So we're going to start with the Elemental Heroes. We play 2 Stratos. You could play 3, obviously, and there are times where you literally resolve this card 3 times in one duel, and that's really cool with the power of Wake Up, specialing one off of a Hero Lives, searching one out, normal summoning one, using the effect to grab Ferris, so on and so forth. But I like 2 because this allows you to play more non-engine, which I will get to because this unfortunately is a deck that does not have the privilege of a modern meta deck, and playing lots of non-engine, for example, Tenpai, which is about to come out the time that I'm recording this, is only 15 cards in engine, and so that's 25 non-engine, which is just ridiculous and silly. So we have the 1 Liquid Soldier, which is standard. We have the 1 Shadow Mist, which has become more standard over time. Everyone used to play 2, but you really only need 1, and once again, it reduces the chance of you drawing it. It is a great pitch for Ferris, but you really want to be pitching Malicious for Ferris at the end of the day for your optimal combo, and you can special this off of Wake Up and Search Mask Change. Also, at my locals, I want to put out a disclaimer. This deck is not built to beat either Fire King Snake Eye or Pure Snake Eye or Kashtira Snake Eye. There are a few niche options in my side deck that I'll get to, but for some reason at my locals, thankfully, people just don't play those decks. I've never played against Snake Eyes at my locals, and I'm not complaining because I just don't really see why it would be fun to play against a tier 0 deck. For example, I skipped all of Tearlaman's format. To me, it just represents everything I don't like about Yu-Gi-Oh! So to finish the Elemental Hero lineup, we have the Neos for the favorite contact, Shining Neos Wingman line. Moving on to Vision Heroes. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment down below, and I'm happy to answer them to the best of my ability. Obviously, we have the 3 Ferris. You know, it's your main combo starter. We're on the 1 increase. I'm really not going to spark this debate, but 1 is correct because it is a card that you never want to see in your opening hand. And once again, this is not a meta deck. It is a rogue deck that does not have the luxury of being able to play 20 non-engine. We can only really play 10 as hero players. So with 43, you draw the 1 increase less. Even if you draw the increase and you get super unlucky, there are a million ways to pop off with this deck and get your combos going. You have 3 Hero Lives, 3 Fusion Destiny, for example. You have Rhoda, you have Foolish Burial, and there are other cards in my deck that you'll see other ratios I play that mitigate the downside of potentially drawing this card. But 1 is correct. I know everyone plays 2, but I honestly really don't care. And I've had lots of success with it, and I never draw this card. So if you are considering it, please give it a try. I promise you this is correct. And then we have the 2 Vion, which is standard. Gets you Poly, sends whatever. Moving on to Destiny Heroes. The 1 Plasma, this card is an absolute menace to society, especially because you're going for it a lot more. The 3rd Malicious in the deck gives you 1 extra body, which allows you to facilitate your combo in such a way where if you're just doing the standard combo, you can end on DPE, Dark Law, Plasma, set favorite contact without having to use your Liquid Soldier to get the extra body and then not get the draw effect. So that is a nice boost for the deck. We have the beautiful 3 Malicious. I can't believe that we're seeing the day where this is legal. I would play this deck as much as you can because I have a feeling this might go back to 2 at some point because it is extremely broken and it's only a matter of time until other decks are abusing it. I know stuff like Tearlamans can play it in just generic pile decks, although with Isolde gone, this is a more fair card to have at 3 because you're not just abusing the warrior link material combos like you would normally be able to do when Isolde was legal. And then obviously the Denier, you can resolve Malicious 4 times in duel. It's insane. Such a good card. And to round out the monster lineup, we are just playing 3 Ash because It's for a locals. There are a ton of branded players. You hit branded fusion, and it's just a wide card. It's just great. A lot of the time you draw into a hand trap off of Liquid Soldier, and you're just the best player ever. Having your board insulated by a hand trap too. If they have some sort of crazy extender, you can just pin them right there, and then they can't do anything. We're gonna move on to spells. I also just think Ash is such a good card, where it's just, why wouldn't you play it? We have 3 Hero Lives, one of the best starters in the deck. Shout out to my brother for the second ultimate rare. Self-explanatory card, obviously, and it gets you Stratos, gets you Dark Law, if necessary. 3 Fusion Destiny, this is literally the best card in the deck. You get DPE, and with 3 Malicious, it raises the ceiling of this card even more, which is crazy. So this is to build off of what I made, the point I made about 1 increase. 2 Poly, I really like opening this card because a lot of people understand that you should probably hit the Vion if you only have 1 hand trap or 1 point of interaction. Sometimes you just hard draw it and pop off. It fixes a lot of awkward hands. Sometimes you can draw an increase, but it's very, very rare that you would draw it playing 43 cards. So it's really not something you would worry about in general. But even if you do, you can just go Poly. A lot of the time they cut you off of the Vion. A lot of time with Shining Neos, you can just like hard Poly into Infernal Rage, search favorite contact. This just helps you plus with 3 Malicious. There's a higher chance you open Malicious. Hard Polying Malicious away into like a DP or a Sunrise if you have another attribute hero, and then popping off and setting up link plays and you haven't even normaled. It's just an extremely versatile card, and I really like 2. I played 1 for longest. If you want to play 1, that's fine. There's no problem in playing 1, but I like playing 2 for those reasons. And I mean, you're playing 43 cards, so it's not like you're going to open both copies. We got 2 Mask Change. So the ratio of this card depends on how many people are on Droll at your locals, in my opinion. People aren't really on Droll and main, my locals. So if people are on Droll and main, I would play 3. But I think since I'm not playing against like a deck locals dominated by Fire King Snake Eye, I don't need to play 3 to turbo out Darklaw. But when I board to go first, everyone's going to be siding in Droll against a hero deck. Obviously, it's literally the best card you could play against heroes besides maybe Shifter. So Mass Change at 2 is fine. You board out of 1 going second usually, and then you board into an additional copy to have 3 when you go first, so you can turbo out Darklaw to shut off Droll and something like an Effect Veiler, something like a DD Crow that's come up before. Then we're going to do the one-ofs of the rest of the spell engine. You got the Miracle Fusion, the Rhoda, and the Foolish Burial. Some people don't play this card, but you have to, especially with Malicious at 3. It's a huge boost to the deck. This ban list is really interesting. And then we're going to go to non-engine for the spells real quick. 3 Droplet. I'm the number 1 Forbidden Droplet fan in the world. If you see my videos, this card just wins so many games. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's like the best deck that can play it too. Also, another utility of Malicious being at 3, you can just pitch it from your hand and then combo off with it. Like sometimes you Droplet pitch Malicious and deny in what normally would be an awkward hand, and then you just go off. Like, it's absolutely insane. This also out stuff like Ibly, which you don't see a lot anymore, but it's just a neat little application of the card. 2 Thrust. I've even considered playing 3. This is an amazing card. This gets you Fusion Destiny. This gets you a Hero Lives. This gets you Miracle Fusion, Rhoda, Foolish. It gets you whatever. It gets you cards that you sided into, and then the 1 Called By, because I wanted to go to 43. I wanted to put the extra Malicious, another card which you'll see, and Called By, just because people love to hand trap. People love to hand trap this deck. They make all these decks that can play 50 hand traps, so you might as well play Called By if you can afford the space for it, and now that it's over 40, you can. I used to not play it when I was at strictly 40 cards. And then to round it out, favorite contact, obviously search it off of Flame Wingman, Infernal Rage. I have the 3 Imperm. I think it's good based on my locals. You can change out some of the non-engine, but the ones I think you have to play are Droplet and Thrust. But if you wanted to modify the hand traps and stuff based on your locals, that'd be fine. And this is the one of Thrust target going first D-Barrier, just because obviously this would not be a good card to main in a Snake Eye format. But once again, to iterate, this is against my locals where no one plays Snake Eye. So it's like, you could have this against Branded, you could have this against Manadium, you could have this against Bestial Synchro, you could have this against the Nixie's deck. It's just, there's a lot of versatility with this card as well. So that is the 43 card main deck. We're going to move on to the extra real quick. Double Darklaw, self-explanatory. Blast, this is really good as a board breaker with Stratos if you happen to open the Mask Change. That's another reason why you don't want to board out of all of them going second. You can force their best back row if they search it, if it's some kind of blow up back row, and you can have monsters attack if you need to get over something in battle. And obviously, you know, you want to use this to dodge Imperm and Veiler and stuff like that, just targeted negations on Stratos, because people like to hit Stratos for some reason, even though that's not correct. Elemental Heroes. Wake Up, card's insane. Shining Neos Wingman. Sunrise. Infernal Rage, absolute 0. Love that they made the secret rare. All self-explanatory. Just part of the main combo. 0 is an awesome board breaker when it comes up. We have 1 Destiny Hero DPE. I've considered playing Dangerous. I will get to that. I have played it before. Obviously, DPE is arguably the best card in the deck. 1 Baguska. So when people like to droll you and people like to shifter you, this is what you do. If you open a Hero Lives, you go Stratos, search whatever, they droll you. If you want to search, you could search a Vion, you could search a Stratos. So if you search Vion, if they don't have it, you could, if they don't have droll, you could combo. And then you can just make Baguska, and then it's like they're under skill drain, and then they have to pass. They will have to go over, they will most likely have to go over this in battle, and then you can play next turn. So this card is literally only in the deck if I get drolled or shifted, and the same line applies under shifter, because you can't really do anything if shifter resolves. You do have called by for those two, but I like to build my deck so that it can still play. It still has a good chance of playing, even if I get hit with like the Saki's blowout card. And shifter 100% should be banned. Links, we got Wonder Driver, Infernal Devicer, 2 Cross Crusader. I can't believe there isn't a foil of this card. Hopefully we get one soon. We might. And the Dread Decimator. The Dread Decimator I've considered cutting with Shining Yost Wingman just being part of your main combo. You have more than enough for lethal, so you could put something like a second Wonder Driver or a Dangerous to fix awkward hands. So I might try that, and I might let you all know how it goes. We're going to get to the side real quick. So we're siding 1 Dark Angel just because a ton of people still play Branded. It's just an FTK against that deck. 3 Droll just because it's a hand trap you want to side. You don't want to main it, and it's really good against some decks like Vanadium, for example. Some decks just search a million cards. A lot of rogue decks are just really weak to Droll, and I see a lot of rogue decks at my locals. The 3rd Mass Change for if you're trying to play around Droll or just turbo out Darklaw. We got some back row removal. Twin Twisters, which is rising in popularity. I've always played it. These I don't side a lot, but I just don't play against a lot of back row decks. Harpy's Feather Duster, obviously. 3 Evenly. The card is really good right now. 3 Judgment. I love Judgment in Heroes. If they have a board breaker, you shut off their board breaker, you can shut off their normal summon. It just makes it really hard for your opponent to play. You also have a chance of drawing into this off Liquid Soldier, so that's cool. And 1 Different Dimension Ground for decks like Snake Eye could set this off Thrust. And I might cut 1 Judgment, actually, because I'm siding 3 cards going first. One of them is going to be a Mask Change, and that's going to be 2 others, so it would be like a DD Ground if it's good, and it would be another Judgment. So I don't need to have 3, or it could be like if this card isn't good, then I could do 2 Solemn Judgment. So I never really need the 3rd one. So I might cut that for something else, probably a different one of Thrust target, like maybe Daruma. I don't know. So that is going to be it for the deck profile. I don't want to make this too long of a video. I'm really happy with how the tournament went. Competitive person, and I don't take the game super seriously. I don't go to regionals or nationals or anything like that. YCS is maybe one day, but I do feel like I know enough about the deck that I can provide some insight. I appreciate the support in the comments. I like when you ask questions. Appreciate the kind words. And once again, this has been my first place hero deck profile. It's good to be back. More videos on the way. I'll see you all later. Peace. Have a good day.